yeah, there's an image of him at the game. You can see there is
Actually, what that looks like.
Here we go. Yeah. We'll just talk away as if it's so ball control in the referee Aidan Ferguson as Conor Calf Murphy was breaking into the Belnaleck half with 3 players around him, and Aidan Ferguson has blown that as an overcarry. So ladies and gentlemen, you're very welcome to our broadcast today in Patrick McManus Memorial Park in Canoli for this Division 1 game between Belnaleck and Canoli. Joining me on co-commentary is Malachy McConnell, and Malachy will get your input in a second, but as we continue with the play, Belnaleck's breaking up into the Canoli side of the field as Brian owns with the ball, gives it back as far as Conor McCauley. Now, ball inside to the forward line. It's in the hands of number 13, who's Gavin Quigley, taking his shot, and with the right foot that's gone over the bar, and that's the first score of the game to give the first point to Belnaleck. So that attack from Belnaleck, Malachy, their first foray into the Canoli half.
First of all, direct football played into young Quigley there and just turned and put it over the bar, so that'll boost his confidence.
The first thing I noticed, he was completely isolated in there, plenty of space around him, so Canoli obviously had the Belnaleck had some of their players coming out. As the game goes on, we'll have a chance to go through some of the teams, but it's goalkeeper Sean Crudden taking that with his left foot. It's coming over to this side of the field. It's a clash between Patrick McManus Patrick McGovern is in there, gives it back to his full-back colleague, who is Darragh O'Cahan, and over onto the far side of the field now it's with Shea Keenan, who's breaking over on that stand side of the field. It's a lovely evening here, really glorious sunshine. It's quite warm as well, Malachy, so I'm sure it's going to take their toll on the fitness of the players.
Yeah, so I'm sure they'll have more than one water break as well.
They'll definitely be wanting it. That was Patrick McGovern who was breaking forward, and it was turned over. It was picked up by Frank Rafferty, and now it's Conor McCauley who's running strong down the field, gives it over as far as Shea Cullen, and Shea Cullen has found his colleague from the wing half forward line again, who is Frank Rafferty, trying to spread the play over, but there was a mix-up in the defence, and that ball is picked up by Niall Bogue, who gives it to his corner forward colleague Paul Breen, shipping the challenge there of Darragh McGurn. Now it's in the hands of Aaron Tierney. Kicks the ball inside, 2v1 in here. It's a very small play on his Tom Keenan. Referee Aidan Ferguson blowing his whistle. He seems to have seen an infringement. Did you see it, Malachy?
There must have been a nudge there as the Canoli player played the ball in, so as is normal, kick from where the ball lands, so this is a scoreable chance for Canoli on the left hand side, so it'll suit the right footed kicker.
I would think Tom Keenan was glad to see that free, because he a small man, he was up against 2 big Belnaleck defenders. Gives the chance for Tomas Corrigan, taking this as Malachy says, going to suit the right footed kicker. It's just on the 21 metre line, right close to the sideline, but the angle should shoot. No wind at all, Malachy, so he has...
Yeah, it's almost perfect conditions.
And puts that over the bar to bring our score to 1 point apiece. So that free from Tomas Corrigan, and the first point was from Gavin Quigley. That will give us a chance to run through the teams. As goalkeeper Conor McGovern kicks that out. It's Conor McGovern in goals for Belnaleck. Cornerback Sean Loosley.
There must have been a late change. That's Ryan McNulty in goals.
Ryan
McNulty, number 16.
Number 16 is in goals that there. Yeah. Then we have Sean Loosley, Oliver Grete, and Fergal Keenan. Wing half back line of Garrett Kavanagh, Oren McCarney and Gareth Presley. Midfield Dermot Loosley and Conor McCauley, who we've seen on the ball a couple of times already. Wing half forward line of Frank Rafferty, Darragh McGurn and Glenn Tracy, and a full forward line of Gavin Quigley, who got that early point, Peter Monaghan and Brian Owens. Shea Cullen's on the field as well, so we'll have to figure out who he has replaced. Possibly Dermot Loosley, because
I don't see Dermot. I see Sean playing.
And Shea Cullen, the aforementioned, from midfield,
outside of the right boot, is becoming one of Shea's speciality kicks this year. He has scored a number of these long range points, and it's great to see him going into this role around the middle of the field.
Plenty of space to move forward in there and getting that ball out. And as we talked about, there's absolutely no wind at all here, so he had no obstacles in that there. The Canoli team lines out with goalkeeper Sean Crudden, full back line of Niall Bogue, Darragh O'Cahan and cornerback Tierna O'Cahan. Wing half back line of Conor Murphy, Sean Doherty and Patrick McGovern. In the centre of the field it's Aaron Tierney and Kieran Breen. A forward line of just going back to the play because it's in the hands of number 15, who is Paul Breen. And Paul Breen with the left foot puts that ball over the bar. So that ball was kicked into Tom Keenan, he broke it down into the hands of Paul Breen, and that brings the scoreline to 2 points to 1 to Canoli. So that is another point for Canoli. Good attacking play so far in this game.
Good attacking play. That was a direct ball in from Sean Doherty. You know, you could be described as a 50-50 ball, but the presence of young Tom Keenan in there put the Belnaleck defence under that bit of pressure or nervousness, and the ball broke and was picked up by the Canoli forward and tapped over the bar. So it's all even at the minute, and there's just over 5 minutes gone. So
speaking of direct ball, Shea Cullen kicked one in there, but it was broken down. Now Canoli are onto the attack, and it's again at the hands of Tom Keenan, who's given the Bellanaleck defence a bit of trouble in there because he's won that ball. Now it's Conor Murphy takes that, swings over onto the right foot, puts it over the bar. 3 points to 1 to Kinawley. Tom Keenan's got his hands on a lot of ball in this early stage of the game, Malachi.
Tom's threat is well known throughout the county, going back to his McCrory Hogan Cup days. He's a handful for any defender. He can score, he can hold ball, he can pass. He's a marvellous player and is a threat on or off the ball.
Yeah, and he's been picked up at the minute by Fergal Keenan, and that kick out from Ryan McNulty has gone over the sideline, which is giving Canoli a chance to break. Canoli's putting a lot of pressure onto Belnaleck in this first half. Belnaleck struggled to win their own kick out. It's Sean Doherty there, gives it to Kieran Breen, and now it's over in the hands of Conor Murphy again, who's bouncing the ball, gives it to Tomas Corrigan, who's moved out from inside the full forward line. Patrick McGovern is rowing for the ball on this side of the field, but it's still in the hands of Kieran Breen. Not really moving forward, but now that's been spread out to Sean Doherty, who's got plenty of room. He's got Darryl Cahan, and he has got Patrick McManus looking in there for Philip McTaggart. That bouncing ball is going to be very dangerous. Goalkeeper breaks it out, and he's got it out. It's now been picked up by Fergal Keenan. That ball in the middle of, in kind of in a no man's land. I'm sure the goalkeeper's heart was in his mouth, so he got that one away.
He judged it well and got it away. I'm just looking at the Belnaleck full back line. Possible lack of height in there, you know, so hence the wisdom of knocking in there the long ball, the long high ball, particularly early on in the game when people might be nervous and so on, so it's always worth a try.
Canoli coming off that victory against Derry Godley in the last round there certainly have come back into their stride here, because they're leading this game 3 points to 1. That was Kieran Breen kicks that ball in, and Tomas Corrigan picks it up. 2 players in around him. He won it against his immediate opponent, but then it was picked up by Aidan Ferguson's blown for the mark, gives Tomas Corrigan another chance from a dead ball situation. And he puts that over the bar. So Tomas Corrigan with his second point brings the scoreline to 2 points to 1. A free and a mark from Tomas Corrigan. So from dead ball, he's very accurate.
He's very accurate. Vast experience. It's 4-2 at the minute.
4-2 is the scoreline at the minute, so I'll have to just update my notes here, but we'll get onto that. There's plenty of eyes watching the game with us here now. Anyway, kick out was from, that is Darryl Cahan, gives a wonderful ball into Tom Keenan, who caught that ball going away from him as well. He had to really stretch out to catch that. That was very well done.
Yes. Courageous catch, and knocks it over to take Canoli into a 3-point lead.
Yeah, and that's the second point for Tom Keenan there. Fergal Keenan's picking up Tom Keenan. I'm sure the Bellanaleck management are going to have to look at making some sort of a change. If you can't stop Tom Keenan picking up the ball, they're at least going to have to stop the ball getting into him.
That's right. For all the talk of blanket defences, there is quite a bit of space in there.
Well, that kick out from Ryan McNulty, Gareth Presley, the ball bounced out of his hands. Bellanaleck had done well to engineer the kick out. They had an extra player back, which gave them an opportunity for Ryan McNulty to place that, but the ball just came out of Gareth Presley's hands.
He'd be disappointed he didn't hold that, but early days yet.
Canoli on the attack, and it's Tomas Corrigan. He turns inside full back, and he takes that on the right foot, and that is gone wide. That's probably the first wide of the game from a Canoli perspective, but early in the game, so
early in the game, I suppose dry ball. Tomas probably fancied his chances for there, but it just bounced over the sideline or the end line there, so
6 attacks and 5 points inside the 10 minutes. That kick out was one uncontested. Kieran Brady gives a lovely ball into one bounce in front of Tomas Carrigan. Engineered a free there, and that is about 10 metres inside the 45 metre line, about 10 metres in from the sideline. Going to shoot the left footed kicker. Tomas Carrigan is still down, probably going to look for a bit of attention here now.
Patrick McManus is stepping up there, mate.
Going over there anyway. Unless he's offering medical advice, maybe he is going to take the free. No, but it's coming over now. It is Paul Breen with a left foot. Paul Breen, who has scored already in this game, is a left footed player, so this is going to suit him a bit better than it would Tomas Carrigan.
Yeah, particularly after that knock.
Belnaleck, that's a short ball now. It's been given over to full back, who is Darragh O'Cahan. Gives it back to Paul Breen. He's under pressure here now, but he's engineered, comes back, swings back onto the left foot, and that ball has come off the post and gone wide. It's nice to see that it's a player who's able to spot a short free and able to engineer an easier chance for a shot.
Yes.
Kick out from Ryan McNulty, and Belnaleck have struggled from their own kick outs in the game so far, but there it is. Shea Cullen drops that ball, picks it up himself. Now it's in the hands of the full forward, who's Peter Monaghan. He's breaking forward, gives it to Dara McGorn, and Dara McGorn has won a free about 5 metres inside the 45 metre line. It's certainly a long range free.
Well, it's within Dara's range. I've seen him a number of games this year, and he it's not an easy chance, but it is within his range.
Probably one they're going to want at this stage, as the scoreline reads 5 points to 2. I would think Belnaleck could do with it. They haven't really played that much football, but we wouldn't be 2 points behind. I'm sure they would be happy enough. So as Darren McGord lined up to take this here out of the hands from the 45, it's going to drop short. It's going to be dangerous, but Sean Doherty's in there. 3 Canoli players and only one player from Belnaleck expecting that to drop short. So it's a kind of a lesson sometimes, Malachi, that you never know when the ball drops short in there. All it takes is a fist, and don't know where it'd end up. Sean McManus called for a mark. Referee didn't see it, but that ball was going to Tomas Carrigan. It was cut out, and Tom Keenan now has picked it up, slips through a challenge, gives it to Kieran Brady, who's running forward powerfully. Now it's with Patrick McGovern. Patrick McGovern on the right foot puts that ball over the bar to take us to 6 points to Canoli and 2 points to Belnaleck. I thought Belnaleck had that mapped up, but
yes, and
dispossessed.
It popped out there from Sean Loosley. Quite a crowded area, but again, one that got away. Good score by Kinawley, who have been on top. Really,
they have been on top, certainly, and that's another kick out that Belnaleck has. They haven't been able to win. That was the time Ryan McNulty kicked that with his left foot, and it was their number 12, who is Glenn Tracy, was going for that. The ball went over his head. Now it's gone out over the sideline. Belnaleck haven't been able to win much possession from their own kickouts in this half, and when you're under constant bombardment, sometimes it's very hard to deal with that kind of pressure.
Yes, and when your opposition, like Canoli, have so many quality forwards in there, and I suppose if we look at the players on the pitch, we see that the Belnaleck half is a very crowded area, so your passes have to be inch perfect here. You know.
That pass was inch perfect to Sean McManus, and he's picking that ball up. Was looking for a support player, but he turns back and gives it to that kick pass was from Tierna O'Cahan, I would think, which dropped short. But he was able to pick it up again, and now Canoli have tidied that up. There's shouts for a throw ball, but referee Aidan Ferguson waves play on. Now it's Philip McTaggart, ball bounces off, and he picks it up again. Inch perfect pass into Tomas Carrigan. Looks for his probably should not have been well, maybe he was inside the 45 metre line. It's the intricacies of this new of the new rule. Philip McTaggart, I suppose I couldn't see from exactly, but some of the Bellanaleck players were calling that he was inside the 45 metre line, and therefore it shouldn't qualify for a mark. But
yeah, when it was kicked,
it is what it is.
Yes.
And Tomas Carrigan has his chance from the right foot, looking to put that over the bar, and it's looking good. Another point for Canoli, 7 points to 2 as we approach. Must be about 10 minutes played in this, 10 or 12 played in this first half. So I would think Belnaleck could desperately do with a score at this stage. Ryan McNulty with a long kick out. It's 2v1. Kieran Breen's in there, taps it down to Tierna O'Cahan. Tierna O'Cahan, who's got the ball, spins away from his challenge, gives it over to that far side of the field, and now it's in the hands of Paul Breen. Paul Breen looks to try to pass Sean McManus. Very high, not really going to suit the player, but Sean McManus got a hand slit, and the umpires have blown that as have signalled that as a wide ball, so that's another wide for Canoli. Canoli with 7 or 8 attacks so far in this first half, 2 wides and 7 points. Good enough for Fermanagh.
It's been all Canoli.
Ryan McNulty going long this time, and he got a fierce kick onto that there, but the breaking ball was picked up by Conor Murphy, who's dispossessed now. It's over there, and it's in the hands of Kieran Breen, who was tackled again, but he's got that ball picked up, and now Canoli are on the move again. Philip McTaggart's going with him, but he goes to the right footed kick over as far as Tomas Corrigan. Fullback is in there trying to get the off him, but Tomas Corrigan weaving this way, weaving that, turns back to the right foot, looked like he was going to fake a shot, gives it back to Tom Keenan. That Bellanaleck got a hand to that there, and they've certainly got numbers in here, but Kinawley have moved it over now. It's in the hands of Sean McManus, Sean Doherty, and Dara O'Cahan are all here. Belnaleck are shipped very deep into their own half of the field, Malachy. They're probably with pushing out a wee bit. Tom Keenan weaves in through that there, and referee Aidan Ferguson blows that as a free. Maybe a bit free there.
Well, he was pulled back, you see, so yeah.
I think sometimes
it wasn't a robust challenge.
No, it wasn't a robust challenge, but it was enough for referee Aidan Breen to rule that as an infringement, and that gives a chance to Paul Breen as well. The last chance he had, he took it short. I think he's going to go long with this one, because Belnaleck have all the players picked up.
Yes.
So Paul Breen strokes that ball, and it's gone over the bar again, so that's another point for Canoli, and they've had a very good first quarter of this game.
And again, it shows the merits of when you take on a player at speed, as young Tom Keenan did there. He took on the player and forced the defender to make the error, and he got his free, and there's another fine point for Kinawley.
It's also the merits of having a left-footed and a right-footed free taker. It's a great advantage. Ryan McNulty takes that ball, kicks it over the far side of the field, and that has been broken down and ruled as a Bellanaleck ball. So this should hopefully give Bellanaleck a chance to get out of from their own half. They've really been Canoli have been laid siege to the Bellanaleck half. That kick pass is going to Shea Cullen. It's going to bounce once in front of him. Dara O'Cahan's in there, but Shea Cullen picks it up, has a runner who is Conor McCauley, who's running perfectly, breaks through that initial challenge, gets a chance on his right foot. That's going to drop short. It's in there. Goalkeeper Sean Crutton picks it up. Garvin quickly trying to put pressure on him, but Sean Doherty has it, and Canoli are starting to move out
there, because
Son would be in his A's,
and he had to hold that ball, because if it popped out, young Quigley was about to pounce.
Canoli turned defence into attack, and now it's in the hands of Shea Keenan, and Shea Keenan goes back to Patrick McGovern, who's not under any immediate pressure. Belnaleck haven't had a chance to put pressure on Canoli in and around the middle third.
No.
It means that they're getting very easy to get their balls into the forward line, and just as I say that, Sean Doherty was coming under a bit more pressure.
Broke the tackle, and Canoli still in the attack here.
Back with Shea Keenan, who's over there. There's a big bunch of players, leaves space in front of Paul Breen. Paul Breen slips the tackle, slips the pass to Conor Murphy, and Conor Murphy breaking through, puts that ball over the bar. A lot of the players had bunched over to that far side of the field, Malachy. He was left a lot of room for Paul Breen to run into. Slips that ball off to a player running past, and it's very, very hard to defend that, I'd say.
It is, and number 12 here, young McTaggart, was given out that the ball wasn't slipped to him, because he was through on goal on the right side here. So I see we have a water break here. So
have our water break. So that I'm sure that the Belnaleck management will be very glad to have an opportunity to get their players in and reassess how they're going to go about this game at this initial water break. With about 17 minutes played, our scoreline is sitting at 9 points to 2. So all Canoli in the first quarter, Malachy?
All Canoli. I look at it's probably 14 minutes since the last Belnaleck score. They've had two. The ball has been in the Canoli keeper's hands twice there, most recently from 2 long balls in. Well, one was a free and the other was a shot. Apart from that, interestingly, Brian Owens, who has been a starring forward for Belnaleck so far this year, hasn't got a chance to get near the ball. Chance to get a shot on goal. So look at again. It goes back to possession football. Belnaleck have struggled to get their hands on the ball around the midfield. Kinawley have won kick-outs, break balls, and that's the platform they've used then. And I noticed they've great movement inside. Their inside line has been able to create space, even though it's quite crowded out round the 40. Tom Keenan, Tomas Corrigan, young Breen in there, they've all been able to find space.
They seem very fit too as well, Malachi, because this is an evening that's going to test your fitness reserves, and as we said, Canoli are coming after that victory against Derrygonley last week. So
the other thing about Canoli is at this time, a team with lots of experience and then a blend of younger players who've come in the last year or two. The Kinawley are a very well established Division 1 team, you know. There are a number of years there, and they've improved year on year, you know. So
probably where Belnaleck hope to be in a couple of years' time, to be honest, Malachi. This is their first year in Division 1. That's so right. I suppose this is going to act. They're going to hope this acts as a springboard. Ryan McNulty going long again. That is a long kick, and that was Dara McGorn who was able to feel that ball. Loves a nice cross-cutting ball, but Patrick McGovern picks that up. I don't know was Dara looking to keep that ball low, but it certainly ended up going low.
Pass over to the right side of the left side of the Belnaleck attack, but it was intercepted.
Tomas Corrigan gets away from his defender, taking a shot on the right foot, and that's gone over the bar, and that's the 4th point for Tomas Corrigan, and it brings our scoreline to 10 points to 2. So Canoli picking up where they left off.
Yeah, and that's a punishing blow for Belnaleck there. They were on the attack, things were opening up, and just Canoli just turned the table straight away. Got it into Tomas.
Ryan McNulty going long again. Glenn Tracy's picked that ball up, a nicer ball this time into Young Quigley, who catches it one time on the bounce, feeds it well to Glenn Tracy, who's breaking inside again. He's got a chance here, turns back inside, gives it to that's Brian Owens over there. Now Belnaleck, their initial momentum has been slowed down, but they have a chance to break again. It's full in the hands of full forwards. Peter Monaghan gives it to Brian Owens coming round on the loop, and now it's the corner back who is Sean Lucy. Sean Lucy under immediate pressure from Dara O'Cahan, drops the ball, and that is that high ball is going in there. It's between Tomas Corrigan, who was holding, he was holding it. We could see it, but maybe referee Aidan Ferguson couldn't. Patrick McGovern was breaking it, and that ball was cut out by centre half back Oran McCartney, because there's no doubt about it, Malachi, there was a goal on there.
There was a goal on there, and
there could be one on again. Tom Keenan has broke that ball. He's under great pressure from Fergal Keenan. Referee seems to be playing advantage, but Tom Keenan slips inside and puts that ball into. He was under savage pressure there, Malachi, and he was still able to get away.
Tom Keenan kept going. He attack, drive with conviction. So the choice for Belnaleck was foul, and they were reluctant to foul, and he got through, and there's your goal.
I think they were doing everything to not foul, and they were putting on maybe even illegal pressure. But Tom Keenan, instead of going down, he kept on going and was able to break that there, and that leaves our scoreline at 110 to 2 points with over 20 minutes played in this half. So Belnaleck have a long way to go to come back into this, Malachi.
Yeah, it's an uphill climb, like as you said, with just 20 minutes gone. Like the goal is a killer blow, but it's just going to take a big lift. That's
Tomas Corrigan with so far an uncharacteristic wide. He's at 4 points over the bar, but that one from his left foot has gone wide. So Belnaleck with a goalkeeper again. He's really Ryan McNulty's been the Belnaleck player who's had his hands on the ball the most so far. He has gone long quite a lot, and the Belnaleck have been challenging in and around midfield, but it's after the ball is broken that they're struggling to get away. So Shea Cullen won that ball, a bit of afters, but number 12, who is Glenn Tracy, was looking to pick that up. Someone was standing in front of him, and referee Aidan Ferguson has decided to move that forward, maybe into a scoreable chance.
Just if we go back to that previous Canoli goal, I just noticed the ball was out round the middle, and Shea Cullen was inside, isolated, looking for the long ball in, and Belnaleck hesitated, wasn't played in, it was turned over, and rather than having been a threat at the other end, they conceded a goal.
The ball ended up on their own net. Darragh McGurn with that shot from the right foot, and that has gone nicely over the bar, over the black spot. That is a score that Belnaleck needed badly.
If they can chip away, you know.
Well, if they can put pressure, I think Belnaleck they need to put a bit of pressure on the Canoli kick out and into the Canoli half of the field. They haven't really. No. That's only about their third or their fourth attack. I know they've had a couple of ones that drop short, but haven't put serious pressure onto Canoli. That kick out, goalkeeper Sean Crudden was targeting Patrick McManus, who has a slight height advantage over number 10, who is Frank Rafferty, and Frank Rafferty done well to win that ball.
Frank's just back. I think this would be his first senior start this year. He was struggling with injury, so it's good to see him back.
Shea Cullen with that he was going. He scored a point earlier on in that there, but that one the radar was badly off.
Slightly off balance as he kicked it. So so another kick out to contest.
Point was Darragh McGurn. So I have my notes updated now. So the points from Belnaleck have come from Gavin Quigley, Shea Cullen, and that free that we just seen from Darragh McGurn. Now goalkeeper Sean Crudden from Canoli, the last one he went high out to the side of the field. That one went very, very low, and there was a kind of a mix up. Darragh McGurn was looking, should he go for it? No communication, or if someone had to give him a shout, he might have been able to get that one, but however it's been picked up by Patrick McGovern. Sean McManus providing a lovely dummy run, weaves inside again. That's good play, good introduction of the interpassing of the ball in between, and as I shared, Sean McManus making that dummy run gives him, that's ball been threaded into Tom Keenan, but the ball has gone over the line there.
But you talked about intricate movement there from Kinawley. Yes, it was, but they were also moving forward, you know, and rather than just
at speed as well. I think when you're moving forward at speed, that's a great help. That's Frank Rafferty who was looking for that ball. He's starting to having to come back, but at least that's the ball has been won by Belnaleck. Now they're breaking out, and it's the centre half back who's Oran McCarney gives it over to the far stand side of the field. That's Conor McCauley, who is a powerful runner. If he can get a chance, he's broke through that first tackle, goes through a second one as well. Very comfortable in the ball, Malachy.
Exactly, I was going to say composed. 19 times out of 20 will do the right thing.
And that ball was kicked in from by
interception for
interception, and that'll be disappointing, I'm sure, because Belnaleck were on the attack there. They've quite a lot of times they've been in promising enough positions, but hand pass is not going to hand. It's a killer.
Talk about that final pass, you know, and it's just not sticking tonight.
Now Tiernan O'Cahan has time to give that over to Niall Bogue, who's coming in front of the stand as this game has been brought to you live on Fermanagh GA TV via YouTube. So a very warm welcome to our subscribers, and as we always say, if you haven't already subscribed, make sure you do, because the provision by Fermanagh GA is very good, especially when we can't have supporters at the game. Conor McCauley has that ball. It was a slight mix-up, but he puts it across the shoulders. Patrick McGovern off the ball. He's strong on it. Gives it to Brian Owens, who has it. Not even going to take a look. Slips, picks it up, right foot, straight over the bar.
Yeah, quality score.
You were saying he's been doing well.
Brian has been very good so far this year. You know, he's really on form. Has been a great servant to Belnaleck, you know, this last number of years, but particularly this year. Again, goes back to the work of Conor McCauley. Broke the tackle, played the ball in, slipped out to Brian Owens, who just Brian knows where the goals are.
Chipped it up and straight over the bar. Brings our scoreline 110 to 4 points, and goalkeeper Sean Crudden's having to go high, so there's two players from Canoli verging on top of each other. That's left a chance for Conor McCauley to pick it up now. He's breaking through. He's got two players immediately coming towards it. Slips it to Sean Loosley, and Sean Loosley pushes Cahan off the ball, tries to flick it to Gavin Quigley, and Gavin Quigley was knocked off that. Now it's been picked up by number 10, who is Shea Keenan. Belnaleck were breaking through, but Canoli were able to get their bodies in front of it, Malachy.
But again in the final third, just Belnaleck, that just a little bit untidy. That ball popped out.
As Shea Keenan touches that ball on the ground, it was
very unlucky.
Tom Keenan, that's right.
Yeah, just dropped and accidentally touched it on the ground. So it's back with Belnaleck.
And Conor McCauley slipped. He breaks the first tackle, but his momentum going forward was cooled down, and now it's been given to Shea Cullen over there to Sean Loosley as well.
Flat-footed, you know.
the passes have all went to people who were just standing there, but now Darren McGurn breaks inside, fakes a shot, gives it to Connor McCauley, who's having to break tackles. I'm sure he'd like to get a chance to run without having to go through men, but that's just what it is at the minute. That was Peter Monaghan who gives it over to Garvin Quigley. Plenty of space on that far stand side of the field, takes a shot in the right foot. That's looking good. That's over the bar, Malachy.
Yeah, that's a quality score from Garvin, that's his second score.
Yeah, 5 points to 110 the scoreline, and we in fact we did say that after the first water break, if Belnaleck could pick up a couple of scores and put a bit of pressure on the Canoli team, it would start to bring them back into the game.
Yeah, well, it gives hope. You see, they've pulled back there now. Is that 3 in a row they've got?
Yeah, 3 in a row, definitely.
Lift the spirits.
And they're getting more competitive in midfield. You see goalkeeper Sean Crutton, he's having to kick it out long, and it really is a 50-50 battle. That was a push in the back, but the ball's been won by that's Kieran Breen, Aaron Tierney.
There's that many Bellanaleck players around him.
Yeah, it was Aaron Tierney, and he was a judge, so whoever carried the ball, Aidan Ferguson gives that as a free to Belnaleck. Now Shea Cullen taking it. He's got Glenn Tracy in support, and now it's Oren McKierney who's breaking forward. Philip McTaggart immediately comes, slips it over here to Gareth Presley, and now it's back in the hands of Glenn Tracy. He has support, and that's Conor McCauley breaking inside the 45-metre line. Probably going to take a shot here on the right foot, gives it plenty of air, plenty of accuracy as well, Malachy, and there we go, 4 points in a row.
Yes, 4 in a row. Bellanaleck starting to find their stride. Key players coming into it for them, like Conor McCauley. This last 5 minutes has been very good. Yeah. They've managed to get Brian Owens on the ball, and young Quigley again has come in with another score. So we're probably approaching half time here. So that leaves it closer at least.
It takes the lead down to 7 points, and there's another well-held ball by Sean Loosley. Canoli have now they've really gone apart in the midfield. They've a real lull, no doubt, yes. And part of that is because Belnaleck have stepped it up, but Canoli haven't had a chance. They haven't won a kick out at Gareth Presley. He changed his mind.
Yes.
He was lucky he wasn't. Sometimes you can get technical fouls for that there when you change the ball between your hands, but lucky enough there that was nearly another interception.
Yeah, you see, this is what happens when you don't move the ball at pace. People standing flat-footed, they're an easy target for a tackler,
Yeah.
So the ball's just a little
bit high for Brian Owens, and Philip McTaggart's able to pick that up. Niall Bogue doing well to knock that out of the hands of Brian Owens. Forwards they got there, they like the ball bouncing once in front.
That's right, or into the chest.
Garvin quickly putting pressure on to Shea Keenan over there, and that's turned over the ball, done well. Conor McCauley, he was met by Kieran Breen. McCauley has picked the ball up, but he's been dispossessed, and now Sean McManus.
Yeah, interesting. The ball did seem to be wrestled out of his hands, but the referee is allowed play to go on.
Tomas Corrigan has gone down here now. He's holding his leg, and referee Aidan Ferguson blows. That's
just on the point of half time. It looks as if Tomas, if he was caught in the hamstring there, he's holding us.
Well, he's back up again and he's moving around, so it mightn't have been as bad as first thought.
Yeah, hopefully he's all right now.
He's back and walking again, so I would think Canoli, if they find there to be any chance for Tomas Corrigan to be under pressure, they might have to make a substitution, because at this stage, Malachy, we're 2 weeks away from a championship, and an incredibly competitive championship it's going to be. We've seen the schedule of games that was released, that's going to be coming up, but
it's been a feature of the Fermanagh Championship this last 4 or 5 years or so on. All of the championships are very competitive, and they're a great spectacle. Whether that be right from junior right through to intermediate and senior, they're so competitive. People might say, so and so is going to win. We know Derek Onley's dominance over this last number of years, and fair play to them, but still
there's teams snapping at their heels,
probably 4 teams there, including Derek Onley, who feel they've a chance of winning the senior championship, and likewise in the intermediate. It's going to be a real firecracker.
A group of death really in that there, because you could any of the teams on their day could do that. With half time here, Malachy, 110 to 6 points, 7 points between the teams. To sum that up, it was all Canoli, and then it was all Belnaleck in the last 10 minutes anyway.
Yes, particularly, and I suppose the difference. Well, the difference is that there is a clear difference there in quality and performance. Canoli dominated the first 20 minutes.
Yeah, and they got 110.
Yes, they were very efficient. They converted. I suppose they must have a 90% conversion rate there from their chances, whereas Belnaleck got a fair bit of possession, even though they weren't dominant round the middle. They got a fair possession, but once they got to the opponents, Canoli's 45, it fell apart too many times.
Yeah, too many interceptions.
Too mmany hanging passes. But now they've the chance to put that right, and I suppose the key will be an old line will be the first 10 minutes of the second half is going to dictate the outcome of this game.
We do it. Often people talk about with these water breaks that they break up the momentum of the play. It's likely half time could break it up for Belnaleck, because they certainly were starting to get a bit of run on Kinawley, but they're just going to have to realign. I suppose, sorry for cutting in, Bellanaleck, even at this point, haven't really managed to cut the Canoli defence wide open. They haven't had no goal attempts as such. A number have dropped into the keeper's hands, but they were attempts at points. There haven't been any one-on-ones in there. Whereas if you look at the Canoli attack, there have been a number of times. Well, of course, Tom Keenan got that great goal there. They had other chances as well where they did take their points, but if needs must, they could have went on for goals. And what I was just about to say, Malachy, as well, was Belnaleck haven't dealt with the problems in there of Tom Keenan and Tomas Carrigan. It still seems to be the same players who's marking them.
That's right.
They haven't even dropped another player back in there to sweep it or to close down some of the space. We've seen a couple of chances where Belnaleck were able to, or Canoli were able to move the ball quickly, and they were going through.
Yeah, the idea of dropping a man back inside the immediately in front of the full forward line, no, that hasn't been tried yet.
Just as an update for our viewers in this here, in the Tyrone Championship, in the first round of the Senior Championship, we have a latest score after 15 minutes, and it is Killyclogher 5 points, Carrickmore 1-1. So that's a tight game in Tyrone. They're always tight in Tyrone generally.
Tight. It's amazing, in my short lifetime, Carrickmore have never been far away. They're always competitive and of course successful as well, but Killyclogher as well in the last 10-15 years have a very successful championship pedigree as well.
We were talking about 3 or 4 clubs in Fermanagh. There could be a dozen in Tyrone that would fancy themselves. Another scoreline that's been handed to us here now is in the Down Senior Championship, and that game is between Mayo Bridge and Kilcoo. Mayo Bridge are leading Kilcoo by 5 points to 4 as that game goes into the second half. 37 minutes played, so that's low scoring and very, very tight in that championship game. And Mayo Bridge, the club of Benny Coulter and Mickey Linden, has the lead over Kilcoo, who are chasing, I would think, about 8 Down championships in a row. They've certainly had a lot of success over the last while.
They're the kingpins in County Down, and I suppose when you're in that position, everybody's snapping at your heels, so that's a very tight game there. I don't know, it's a straight championship in County Down, is it?
I think it is,
It would be a huge shock if Kilcoo were to exit, but it's very early days yet.
Well, it's into the second half, but sometimes you can nearly write the script in those games when it's very low scoring. If the opposing team, which is Mayo Bridge in this instance, if they can keep the score line very low going into the last couple of minutes, it's amazing. Into the last 10-15 minutes, it's amazing how their belief can grow and the Kilcoo resolution can be tested. So we'll keep our eye on that one there. Of course, as we said, the Fermanagh Championship is 2 weeks away. So we have a full round of Division 1 games on this weekend, and we're going to be coming live on Sunday in a game between Edinburgh and Erngale Spalik. So we're looking forward to that, and there'll be other games on to complete the round of fixtures. Then next week the teams are going to have a free weekend to prepare for the Senior, Intermediate and Junior Championships, which will start in the last weekend of August. We'd love a weekend like this, I would think, Malachy, to play them games.
Wouldn't it be
Well, I'm sure the players would. We have to bear in mind that government restrictions, that there is going to be limited attendance in at some of these games, and I know that the clubs are working to try and get that sorted out.
Well, I suppose, you mentioned a full round of league fixtures this weekend. Let's hope that all of the players come through unscathed and avoid injury, because they so look forward to playing championship for their club. They've been preparing a long time and building towards it. It's going to be a lot of work for club secretaries and club officials to distribute the limited number of tickets that will be available for spectators, so it will be important for spectators to get their shout in, or at least be aware of what the arrangements are within their club for the distribution of tickets, because the last thing we want is spectators to be disappointed that they can't get to the games. But I suppose the one compensatory factor is that all of the games are being covered.
They are going to be all covered.
Live, so
that's right. That's
an asset. It's a wonderful asset, particularly for those who may as yet be reluctant or fearful about going out and so on to the games. So I think it's more than the footballers would look forward to good weather for the end of August, because we had a terrible July. So here's hoping.
So as we're about to start our second half, I can see a change in the Canoli team. Donal Owens is coming on, and he's standing in there at centre half forward. I would imagine it's Tomas Corrigan he has come on for, and as I look round, I don't see Tomas Corrigan. Sean McManus has gone to full forward. So you were just talking about wanting no one to get an injury. I'm sure that Kinawley had to be sensible and take Tomas Corrigan off.
Being cautious, you don't want a player of Tomas's ability and experience to be sitting on the bench.
So as the play goes ahead, it's Garvin Quigley who moves that ball round, chance of overcarrying, but referee Aidan Ferguson raves play on. It was actually in the hands of number 10, who is Frank Rafferty. Now it's back to Conor McCauley, who's looking to break inside the 45 metre line, gives it to his full forward colleague, who is Peter Monaghan. And now Sean Lucy's breaking into attack. 13 players, Canoli's 13 players are into their own half of the field, so they're going to have to break out as one team. But there we go, Shea Cullen dispossesses Philip McTaggart, gives it to Frank Rafferty over on that far side of the field. The immediate thing I can see at the start of the second half, Canoli are pulling back very, very deep to close out any space. They're not going to give Belnaleck a chance to kick the ball into their forwards, and just as I say that, Sean Lucy takes a wonderful catch, trying to break inside that, but he kicks it wide. I think referee Aidan Ferguson was playing the advantage and is going to pull that back for a free for Sean Lucy. He was able to get free from his immediate marker and find space.
Strong player. Sean can cover ground quickly. I suppose fortunate there. He didn't call his mark there, did he?
He did, but I think if he talked him, he'd have had to take it himself, and that was on the right foot. It probably wasn't going to suit him. So maybe, especially if he knew he was getting fouled as well, it was a shot to nothing. He could take his opportunity, and if it didn't work out, he knew that he was going to have someone of the calibre of Dara McGurran to take the resultant free. I hope they haven't put the commentator's curse on him. No, I don't think I have, because he put that ball over the bar. So that leaves the scoreline 110 to 7 points, and that's 5 points in a row for the Bellanaleck team.
As I talked about earlier, the first 10 minutes of the second half is going to have a key impact on the game. Well, at least if Belnaleck can get another few scores, it'll keep them in the game. They've something to chase. So
it'll be an amazing tournament. They were 11 points down at one stage. To bring that down to 6, they're doing pretty well. So that kick out has been picked up by number 5, who is Gareth Kavanagh. It's in the hands of Peter Monaghan, the full forward, who's taken that shot from his right foot, gone over. 7 points in a row.
Belnaleck, yes, and young Peter Monaghan there, a very composed player. Peter rarely loses possession. Again, a player who usually does the right thing with the ball, and took that one on and kicked it over the bar. And again,
brings the scoreline 110 to 8 points, Malachi.
That's another lift for Belnaleck. So from watching football, from my limited experience, it's very rare that in a game that you don't get enough chances to win it. So it'll be interesting. Belnaleck probably will get enough chances. It's what they do with it.
Well, they certainly will get a period of dominance.
Yes.
And it's about what they do in that period of dominance, because it's fair to say Canoli are more than likely going to have one. Brian Owens taking that right-footed shot. He was quite far out, but it hasn't come back inside for him.
No, it had the legs, just slightly off target. Yeah. So again, we talk about these chances and opportunities. There was another one. Well, it wasn't a clear-cut chance, but it was a half chance.
Substitution coming on from Kinawley, so we'll get a chance to that was number 7 who went off, I think, anyway. I thought I seen a substitution coming on there. I seen number 28 coming on, but we'll see what happens as that goes. That's the kick out from Sean Crudden. That was Shea Keenan, who was definitely on the back of his opponent, and now he's given that as a free. Referee Conor McCauley has chance to time.
Probably had too much time.
Yeah.
Two that have tailed away to the right on the outside of the boot for Belnaleck, so there's another 2 chances.
Yeah, and we talked about they were going to have a period of dominance, and what were they going to do with it?
That's right.
When you are on top, to miss chances like that, when both Brian Owens and Conor McCauley had a chance, it's amazing how that can be a real killer to your team to get back into it.
Quite unlike Conor, he's a high accuracy rate, but
just didn't work out that time.
It's just
5 minutes.
Coming up to 5 minutes gone in the second half. Shea Cullen down here got a knock there. There was a bit of a mix up there on that previous kick out that fell to Belnaleck, so seems to be a problem with his right ankle there.
Getting sprayed anyway. He doesn't seem to be in any immediate danger, but it's another one where they're going to have to evaluate how important is it to keep Shea Cullen onto this team. That kick out is coming here. The Waterbury going to have to get off the field quickly, because it's been picked up by Conor Murphy, who gives it back to Niall Bogue. 2 players tackling towards him, weren't able to put him out of the line. Niall Bogue kicking that down this side of the field. That was Brian Owens Donal Owens who picked it up. He's also got an injury as well, trying to give it into Sean McManus, and Sean McManus now, that's Garrett Kavanagh who has that ball under serious pressure. Donal Owens picked up an injury. As soon as that ball came into his hands, you could see him actually grimacing from here, Malachi.
He's holding his left ankle here now. Let's hope that it's nothing too serious. Another vastly experienced player for Canoli, Donal, now in his late 20s, comes from a family that has produced many great, very good quality footballers.
Kept the flag flying.
Yeah, well, his dad, Seamus, was a top quality forward for Canoli in the 1980s, so let's hope Donal will be able to carry
on. Because he just came on at the start of the second half. Replacing Tomas Carrigan. So the Canoli management are going to have to, again, as we just talked about, Jake Cullen, he's back on. Seems like he's going to walk it off. You don't see enough of that anymore. Players to get up and they seem to give it 5 minutes and then see how it goes.
Yeah, well, he's getting his chance, you see, and I suppose he wants to nail down the position.
If that's at the expense of getting an injury, though, it can be enough. Done well there anyway. Dispossessed Conor McCauley. Conor McCauley was trying to get through him, but referee Aidan Ferguson has blown that as a sideline to Belnaleck. That's a great ball inside there between Brian Owens and Garvin Quigley. Brian Owens picks it up, takes the shot, swinging around on the right foot. It's gone short, and goalkeeper Sean Crudden breaking out. So you could say that's 3 attacks in a row for Belnaleck that haven't yielded anything.
Cheap enough free there for Canoli,
I think that's Shea Keenan over there with the ball. No, it's actually not, because it's Shea Keenan with the ball in his hands now. So he is breaking inside. Dara McGorn is his immediate tackle. That ball to Ryan or to Niall Bogue. He flicks it round back to Shea Keenan, and Shea Keenan's breaking away from Dara McGorn. Dara McGorn's chasing after him, but Keenan gets that right-footed shot away. It's into Tom Keenan into the corner forward position. He flicks it back to Conor Murphy. Gives it to Donal Owens. Donal Owens solo on the ball, looking for support, looking for for his options, and it was Kieran Breen who takes it off. Now it's back with Shea Keenan, turns inside number 12, who is Glenn Tracy, but the ball has been dispossessed out of his hands, picked up by Conor Murphy, flicks it out to Aaron Tierney on the left foot, gives it plenty of air, don't even think it's going to go wide. It's been picked up by goalkeeper Ryan McNulty, who is under pressure from he's under pressure over there, but he gets it away. Now Belnaleck with a chance to counter, and how they could do with another score here just to get them back into the scoring zone. Shea Cullen doing well to break through that challenge. He's got Dara McGorn beside him. Dara McGorn, the other two players are going in front of him, but now in this side of the field it's Glenn Tracy with a chance to shoot, tries to swing it back in, but that's going to go. It has been judged to have gone wide by the umpire.
I think it had gone wide before the shot, so young Gavin Quigley caught it to him on the toe and he struck it, but I think the umpire had signalled it out before he took the shot.
He certainly had his arms out anyway, but it ended up going wide in the meantime. So referee Aidan Ferguson seems to have given a yellow card over there to one of the Canoli players. I can't quite see his number to pick up on it, but if we see
possibly
it,
Patrick McManus, I think is.
He was over there anyway, and now he's got the ball in his hands. Daisy cutter, you call those ones there. They're very awkward, but he was able to pick that up. I don't know if goalkeeper Sean Crudden was looking to give it height or what happened to, but now it's been dispossessed, and number 5 is Garrett Kavanagh, who done quite well because there was a lot of pressure on over there, and now it's been ruled as a Belnaleck ball right in front of us. Did you see it, Malachi?
Well, the umpire, the linesman certainly signalled it for a line ball for Canoli, but he's been overruled by the referee.
As twice that has happened in front of us here, but as club games you're getting representatives from either club, and they're not going to let their club down if they can.
Couldn't possibly comment on that.
Yeah, that's right, Monica. Now Garvin Quigley inside the 21 metre line, he's able to engineer a free from young O'Cahan. That's Tiernan O'Cahan who was tackling him there. Gives it back to Shea Cullen, who's got Aaron Tierney in front of him. Now it's Brian Owens and Owen McCartney. Gives it back to Brian Owens, trying to thread that ball into Conor McCauley. Doesn't take his mark, swings it over in the right hand foot and puts it over the bar. I think Brian Owens might have been inside the 45 metre line, so he wouldn't have got a mark anyway.
That was a quality piece of play from Belnaleck. So how often do we see the player out on the sideline kicking for a point and it going wide or dropping short? Instead they played it in to Shea Cullen, worked into the middle, nice ball to Brian Owens, who popped it out to Conor McCauley, and Connor's on target again. So Connor's had a good game. He's had a big impact on this game so far.
110 to 9 points. I did not think the game was going to be this close half an hour ago. That's 7 points in a row for Belnaleck. Canoli without having a chance. That could have been a push in the back, but referee Aidan Ferguson says play away. He's done well, Aidan Ferguson. Let it go ahead. It's been a good sporting game. It's a lovely evening. It's starting to get a bit cooler now, so it is. But he certainly added to this game. That's Dara McGurn looking to add to the scoring tally from Belnaleck under severe pressure. Manages to get it away, and with all that amount of Canoli players, that leaves someone free. This time it's Glenn Tracy who takes it, so carries it into challenge a wee bit, and Brian Owens was looking to kick that ball immediately without delay or without hesitation. That's wide. That's another wide for Brian Owens.
Yeah, I think
3 or 4 missed opportunities.
Yeah, that's 4 since since half time, if we include the one that just went wide, the shot. So but look, you can't get them all,
No, you can't get them all, and if you don't kick it, it'll definitely, if you don't take a shot, it'll definitely not go over the ball.
Better than lose it in a tackle or a turnover, which can be so damaging for morale.
Now, crunching tackle in here, that was in between Owen McCartney and number 15, Paul Green, that high ball. It was Brian Owens and Niall Bogues, the judge took him over the top of him, so Aidan Ferguson rules that as a free in to Belnaleck as we approach 12 and a half minutes played in this second half. So we have a free for Belnaleck on the 45 metre line from where Niall Bogue is currently down receiving or looking for treatment.
One thing Niall Bogue will give you will be total commitment, and he went for that ball totally committed. Like, I know there was an infringement there, but unfortunately he's down, but I'm sure he'll catch his breath and this man has given so much service to Gaelic
Yeah.
football in Fermanagh. Like if you remember 2004 and how
16 years ago.
Yeah, you know, and how he outmarked
McDonald.
Ian McDonald from Mayo. Like that was one of the outstanding performances in my memory of going to see Fermanagh, and there he is still having a big impact on this game, and he's one of the players Canoli.
I don't think many forwards to say Almark Kieran or Almark Niall Boga either as well. I'm sure most of them would be very glad to not have to have Niall Boga on their heels for an hour.
No, he gives you everything.
Darren McGorn with this, he looks like he's going to have a go for it. Malachy on the right foot, going to cross it, looks to cross it back in. It's going to land in around the goal line. Dangerous ball, that's Sean Loosley in there, gives to number 14, Garvin Quigley, and Garvin Quigley puts that out. In the first half, Belnaleck had an opportunity like that where they had no one inside.
That's right.
That time they had players in, were able to recycle it, and Garvin Quigley put that over the bar. That was his third point, and that is Belnaleck's 10th to leave it 110 to 10 as we're going to be approaching our second half water break, Malachy.
Yeah, it's great that it has made a match of it.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
Because it was all Canoli in the first 20 minutes.
Yeah, business has certainly picked up from that from the first water break, so it has, because Canoli have really fizzled out of this game in midfield. They haven't won as much, but Donal Owens is winning that ball, looks to give a first inside ball to Sean McManus, who's plenty of chance, so was trying to feed it off to Aaron Tierney. Kind of reminiscent of Belnaleck in the first half. The final ball wasn't working, so we've kind of had a role reversal.
Yeah, well, you see, you've taken Moss Corrigan out of the equation there, you know.
Belnaleck playing a bit too much football in there. Oh my goodness, that has been broken down. Tom Keenan puts that ball into the net. Oh, that was
look at again.
Paul Breen, sorry.
Yeah. Great, well taken by Canoli, but again, guys just coming walking out with the ball.
Yeah.
You know, sitting ducks, targets, no movement. And previous to that, I was just about to say that Belnaleck had plenty of players back.
Yeah. Well, I think the Cardinals in was kicking the ball across your own goal. It's something that should be avoided, but look, it happens here now today than in a championship game, and I'm sure that defender will, I think it might have been Sean Loosley or Fergal Keenan, one of the two of them anyway, who did that, but they'll know for again, great block down by Niall Bogue. We were just talking about him earlier on, how much he's given now. It's with Glenn Tracy, lovely inside dummy, gives it over to number 27 now. It's with Garvin Quigley, who's taking a shot, plenty of height, it's going to drop short. Donal Owens is in there, that ball's been dropped down, and Sean Doherty picks it up. We have a substitution in the Belnaleck team. 27 has come on, Malachy, who's come on for he's over here. We'll find out who he's come on for in a minute, as Dara O'Cahan on that far side of the field gives that lovely ball into Tom Keenan, who has been quite quiet in the second half. He bounces the ball, it's bounced away from him. Fergal Keenan has an opportunity to get it. He got it away the first time. Now Donal Owens is in plenty of space, bearing down on goal here. Looks like he's going to fist it over the bar. He's got it. So Donal Owens with a point for Canoli brings the scoreline to 11 to 10 points. We talked earlier on, Malachy, that Canoli were going to have another purple patch, more than likely. And
there's the last, that was a point there, wasn't it? So there, the last two opportunities Canoli have taken 4 points from it. Really, that goal is a sucker punch. Because it was, as the saying is, it was an unforced error, really. You know, but again, it's a learning. wondering if there's a goal in Belnaleck. They have been scoring goals in games recently.
Or does it make the evening if we could get another goal?
It would really make a game of it, you know. But we'll see. But we talked about the first 10 minutes of the second half. It was all Belnaleck.
Definitely. Well, Bellanaleck will have to play in 30 minutes of putting 30 minutes of pressure on Canoli, because they had they from the just before the end, or just before the first water break, the entire second water break and the start of the second half, it's been all Belnaleck, as we said. Now, we were talking that Belnaleck this is their first year in Division 1, and there's a learning curve in that there, because look at Kinawley, as you said, an established Division 1 team. They got 110 in their period of, whereas Belnaleck were only getting 8-9 points. And you need to maximise your scoring chances.
Those 4 missed opportunities there in that period of dominance from Belnaleck, but there's a very good taken ball.
Communication, because Shea Cullen was waiting for someone to call him there, but that was caught anyway, and now it's Patrick McManus who's gone into full forward in the second half, swinging back and forward, gives a left-footed shot, and that's Shea Cullen's in there as well, and so is Paul Breen, who just scored that goal. Shea Cullen picks it up, now he's heading out, gives it to his cornerback, who is Fergal Keenan, and I would think that Belnaleck are under instructions not to play as much ball in their own half of the field, and we can see that because they're breaking out at a bit of speed here. Fergal Keenan coming in front of him, Donal Owens pulls him back, that's a clear free, and now it's into the hands of number 20, Johnny Owens kicking that back, but Patrick McGovern has kept that ball in play. Now he's breaking forward, he has got support from Donal Owens, who was being hassled, let's say, by Gareth Kavanagh, gets the kick away, and now it's over there, so that's the far side of the field, and it's Kieran Breen who's trying to pick that up, but he's been dispossessed. Conor McCauley, more than likely, who got that ball off him, and he has given it to Glenn Tracy, and it's now in the hands of Dara McGurn, who's trying to dummy Sean He has got around him, the pace is certainly helping Dara McGurn in that there. He's given it to Johnny Owens, and Johnny Owens now has got he has another
Mark Gallagher,
who's this is the last bit of competitive football before the championship, so these players who are going to play 10-15 minutes for you in the championship, this is their last opportunity to sharpen their skills.
I'm trying to see who has gone off.
You would imagine they've took players off, they're bringing new ones on.
I'd hope so.
I think we still have, is that Garvin Quigley over there, so maybe has Brian Owens been taken off?
Still on.
Oh, he is still on.
Yes, Brian's 15.
Frank Rafferty could be off, and maybe Glenn Tracy, the two of those could have come off. No, we have Glenn here, so we'll be able to spot that in a minute. But what we're going to watch anyway is Darren McGurn taking this after a foul on Shea Cole, and Darren McGurn taking that on the right foot, straight in front of the goal, straight over the bar.
Tremendous accuracy from Dara. He has missed very little tonight from the opportunities that he's had.
Well, that's his third point anyway, according to my notes, and now it's 2-11 to 11 points. So
he's been, in terms of play, he's been tightly marshalled tonight. I see he broke through there to win that free, but overall he's a marked man, because when Dara gets on a run, he's a tremendous threat. Space opens up inside then when he does make those runs.
I can also see Dermot Loosley has come on as well. He's at full forward, and he's been marshalled by Dara O'Cahan. That low kick out, it was causing trouble there, but Patrick McGovern has kept it in, and this comes, unfortunately, from his perspective, it's gone straight into the hands of number 15, who is Brian Owens.
Around the neck.
Patrick
will probably move it on here. Yes, that's what
I think so. And Brian Owens, no doubt, is going to want to move it on. His only immediate forward is Garvin Quigley. So that ball, he was going in a bit high, but Dara O'Cahan's been able to feel that ball. Now it's over there. Johnny Owens is trying to hassle, but Kieran Breen's giving it to Sean Dodd. The ball bounces off him, and now it's been picked up by Shea Cullen. and the ball just bounced off of Sean Doherty's chest there, and it gave Belnaleck a chance, which it's important any chances they're going to have in this final 10 minutes to seize them.
Yeah, it's good to see Dermot Loosely on there tonight. Dermot has been struggling with injury since the start of the league, and it's good to see him back on the pitch because he's another key player for Belnaleck.
Yeah, I'd say he's going to plonk himself on the edge of the square as well. So, yes, this kick from Dara McGorn. It's going. It looks pretty good too. That's his 4th point from Dara McGorn. Brings it back to 5, 2-11 to 12. Malachi.
Yeah, so I suppose you have to credit Belnaleck with how they've responded to that goal from Kinawley. 2 scores from Kinawley in this half.
Yeah, the goal and the point.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
But 2 important scores because it stopped the tide.
Yeah, it gave them an extra bit of breathing space. If Canoli hadn't got that going point, now we have a Kimsey on the far side of the field.
It's a hotly debated ball given by the Belnaleck linesman over there.
It's club football at its best, Malachi, so it is.
That's why we come.
Dermot Loosely's ball in his hand. He's trying to reason with the Canoli management. He might be as well just playing on because play on with it and everyone will get over it, I'm sure, very quickly. So they will. So there we go. Dermot Loosely kicking that high ball in to Garvin quickly. That's just not, but it's come to the hands of Dara McGorn. Dara McGorn trying to break away from the challenge. He's got Garvin quickly there, tries to flick the ball in there. Now it's Gallagher, but that ball, Mark Gallagher's ball, been flicked away from him, and we'll have some more. With a lot of pressure coming on to number 10. Now the umpire's trying to blow it for 45. Referee Aidan Ferguson saying play on. That is now it's into the hand. That was Dermot Loosely was looking to red that man out of it, but he got away from it. If you're going to put a challenge like that there, you want to make sure to connect because the
Canoli player.
You have to stop him anyway.
He was moving at pace.
Yeah. Now that's in the hands of the full-back who spins away and looks to give the ball to Gareth Kavanagh.
Yeah, Oliver Goody did very well there to maintain possession.
Yeah.
And even as he was falling, he managed to fist it away.
Now, Glenn Tracy on that far side of the field, he's got plenty of room to gallop. He's going to turn back, give it to Brian Owens, who's supporting. I'd say Bellanaleck have got to be happy with how they come back. They haven't stopped in this game. Canoli were very, very successful in the way that they built their lead and added to it as well in that goal.
They've bounced back from adversity twice. They've scored 2 scores now, is it, since the Canoli scored their goal?
That's right. Shea Cullen giving that to Conor McCauley, who's breaking through. He's got Shea Cullen as well. Conor McCauley, I'd love to know this so many times he broke 2 tackles in this half, and he's won a free there. Referee Aidan Ferguson blowing that as a free in for Bellanaleck. Going to give Dara McGorn another chance.
Quite a deceptive player, Conor. You think he's not moving at pace, but he's deceptive in that regard. Long strides. He's powerful, he's strong, and he's accurate. Whether that be in his pass or his shooting.
I would think if you didn't think he was moving at pace and you were standing in his road, you'd know all about it. No doubt.
He's a strong outfit, so he is.
Dara McGorn with this opportunity. He's kicked a couple of scores here now, going to give that plenty of height going inside in towards the goals, and that's going over the bar. That brings us 2-11 to 13 points, and that's another point for Dara McGorn. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points for Dara McGorn, and it is 4 points between the teams as we come down inside, I'm sure, the last 5 minutes of the game. So maybe a grandstand finish for the viewers at home.
Very much so. No, it has been a very entertaining game. We played in good spirit as well, hard but fair.
Sean Crudden kicking that ball out over there, and it was to Paul Breen, but that was broken down. It's his opposite number 15, Brian Owens, who picks that up. He's buzzing around in there now. It's with Glenn Tracy. That ball was coming short, but luckily enough Gareth Kavanagh was able to get it. Now Conor McCauley is looking to spread the ball over here to Mark Gallagher. That's very high, but Mark Gallagher, lucky he had time to break that down in front of himself. Now that is Johnny Owens was trying to get that ball, but Sean Doherty's picked it up, gives it to Brian Owens now, and Brian Owens with Peter Monaghan, who was immediately facing him, and now as Canoli are breaking down in here, Tom Keenan was making a run, wins the ball, turns around, he's got Sean McManus in there as his only inside forward. Sean McManus wins the ball out in front of Oliver Guti, and now McManus gives a kind of a high ball, and it's over there with one of the O'Cans, I think. It could be one of them anyway, and now it's Sean Doherty, plenty of room to go, and he's going to spread it over to the first hand side of the field. That was a lovely interchange from Aaron Tierney, who releases Patrick McGovern, and Patrick McGovern has put that ball, deft wee left-footed kick pass over we could have dropped into the net. Very handy.
Score that was a mark of quality there, every part of it. The ball in from Sean Doherty inside of the boot, just curved into his inside forwards.
And someone coming off him at speed.
And he slipped it.
That brings the scoreline to 2-12 to 13 points as we approach. We're getting towards the end of this game. So 2-12 is 18 points, 13. Well, that's 13, so 5 points between the teams. Mark Gallagher here, looking for support. He's got Dermot Loosley there, and Dermot Loosley, his only inside forward was Gavin Quigley. Sean Doherty was in there sweeping up. It's always good to have a sweeper of that quality, because Sean Doherty was able to negate any attack there from Belnaleck, and now Canoli are breaking out at fierce speed. We talked about the fitness was going to be necessary, and Patrick McGovern is still running like he was in the first minute.
Patrick has been a great re-addition to Kinawley. Patrick has been travelling on a number of occasions, but every time he comes back he slots right back into the Canoli team, and I'm sure they're delighted to have him back on the eve of the championship. He's a robust, strong, committed player who really gives you everything, and as we've seen, his ability to take scores and kicking those taking those shots in the left foot, again a quality player.
So number 15, Paul Breen, lining this one up. He's 5 metres outside the 45 metre line on the wrong side of the field for a left-footed kicker, but he's going to have a go at it anyway. Shooting practice, I would think, would give Kinawley a chance to widen their lead. He takes a big run up, gives it plenty of height, and it's looking good. From the shouts of the Canoli players, we can see that has gone over the bar. It opens the lead out to 6 points again, and for this particular game, I would think Belnaleck are ruined not getting a goal. A goal is what they wanted.
But interestingly, they didn't create any goal chances as such. No clear-cut chances.
Canoli's in here again. That's Aaron Tierney gives the ball in there, and there's another goal chance on here, but the ball's going over the bar. 14 to 13 points, opens the lead out to 7 points again.
It goes back to that first 20 minutes in the first half, that period of Canoli dominance where they built up that lead. It was such a mountain for Belnaleck to climb, and then as they approached the summit, they had
to climb it again nearly.
That's right.
And they were doing rightly to claim, but then it's Canoli have really extended that lead out. That was Gavin Quigley who was looking to feed that ball to the full forward, who is Peter Monaghan, but that was intercepted. Now Dara O'Cahan and the Canoli team are breaking out here. Good interception from Dermot Loosley, who feeds it to Johnny Owens, and Johnny Owens breaking inside the 45 metre line. He's got Donal Owens in there, goes to ground, tries to flick the ball to a runner who was going past, but that has broken down, and now Canoli with an opportunity to break out here. We've got Paul Breen. Paul Breen's had a great game. He's got a goal and a couple of points as well. Gives a lovely ball to Tom Keenan, who's had a good game as well, for parts of it anyway, for that first half anyway. Those were two players who were putting Belnaleck under serious pressure.
Paul Breen, I've noticed over this last number of years, has been growing and improving, and really has become an anchor man for Canoli around the middle of the field, and that upper half of the pitch. He's another quality player that Canoli have developed, and it's good to see.
Now, as we are as the clock's ticking into the last couple of minutes here, Canoli seem to be content to just play the ball in and among themselves. There's Niall Bug. Two players met him there, but he gets the ball over here to Tierna O'Cahan, and now it's in the hands of Donal Owens. Plenty of support there. That's Aaron Tierney, Sean Doherty, Patrick McGovern's there as well. He's going to break forward, and Shea Cullen met him, but McGovern kept going. John Keenan with a lovely little flick pass on ahead, but that now has been picked up by Garth Kavanagh. Garth Kavanagh has got Shea Cullen in support. He's also got Conor McCauley who's there, and I can also see Mark Gallagher, so there's plenty of support for Belnaleck. Referee Aidan Ferguson blows that as a free, and now it's into the hands of Owen McCartney. Owen McCartney fumbled it originally, but now he's got it into his hands. Brian Owens is there as well, with Niall Bug, who has never been particularly far from Brian Owens the whole night. Now it's Garth Kavanagh there who's going to feed the full forward, who is Peter Monaghan, breaking forward. Dermot Loosley was hit. Two players have gone to ground, Patrick McGovern, but they're back up again anyway, and it's been picked up by Peter Monaghan, who's got plenty of support in this. That ball's going to go too far. He was looking to find young Gallagher, but a bit too much air on it, Malachi.
I think the previous attempted tackle on Peter, which probably resulted in a fist to the ribs, maybe stung him slightly, and there was a bit of adrenaline flowing there. There was a little bit too much on that pass to Mark Gallagher.
Which is going to give Canoli a kick out. So we have a couple of players down receiving treatment, and a couple more substitutes coming on as we're saying, as we're approaching towards the end of the game here. So it's going to the ball's in the hands of Dara O'Cahan, the full back from Kinawley, who's going to give it to one of his substitutes. So now the ball, we may kick it here, Malachi, because it's going to roll in front of us, but only that the wires is going to stop us. So it is, but they're going to get another ball out here anyway. That's gone over the fence as well. This is we must be going to have to put the togs on and play for the last couple of minutes.
I don't think mine fit me anymore.
Now the kick out, the sideline ball has gone to Dara O'Cahan, who looks to feed his player who's moving forward. That's gone over the line as well, and fingers crossed not over the fence. So now it's into the hands of number 12, who is Glenn Tracy. Glenn Tracy gives it to his wing half-back, who's Garth Kavanagh. Battled well most of the game. Now, as we say, a lot of these players are going to be going into the senior championship next year, so these games are good for preparation for the heat of battle that they're going to face in 2 weeks' time. That shot was from Johnny Owens and it was going in there, but now it's gone wide. I see referee Aidan Ferguson taking a check of his watch. It's fizzled out now towards the end here, Malachi. So yes, it has.
Well, it's what is there, 6 or 7 in it at this point? So
7 points, 14 to 13 points according to my score. So I would think for the last period of the game, what both managers with both teams want is no injuries, as you said. And Sean Doherty there, he's been fouled, but the referee's blown advantage. Dara O'Cahan looks to feed his colleague there, but it was been picked up by Dara McGorn, and Dara McGorn gives it now to Dermot Loosley, who is giving it to Johnny Owens, and Johnny Owens, Brian Owens is over there as well. Loosley's there too, but he's going to come back inside to Shea Cullen.
Johnny's got onto a lot of balls since he came on. Just passed a little bit too much power.
Yeah, it had. It was another intercepted pass which Niall Bogue was able to get. So and now it's going over there to
it's Brendan McManus.
Brendan McManus, that's right. Yeah, and he's given it to Shea Keenan, and Shea Keenan has Niall Bogue over there, found a player in space who is taking his shot. That looks to be good, and it's been tapped for out. Goalkeeper Ryan McNulty taps that out, and it's gone over for a 45. So we're going to have a 45 here now. From it looks, who's going to take this here now? Waiting to see, is it Paul Breen? I think it looks like he's going to be lining this one up. It's Moss Corrigan off. I suppose your options are a bit more restricted.
Yeah. It's just I just noticed the lights getting dim enough. These 7:40 starts may have to be moved back to.
Yeah, well, on a good evening it'll be all right. But if I know the last time we were in Canoli, it was not a good evening, and it could have been dark at about 3 o'clock because it never stopped raining the whole time. But Paul Breen taking that with his left foot, striking it nicely, strikes it well, strikes it over the bar, and referee Aidan Ferguson has blown an end to proceedings. So a final score, Malachy, of 2-15 to 13 points. I suppose if you were to look back at that scoreline in itself, you would think that the game was reasonably close. Now, the truth of it would be that there was times when it wasn't that close on the scoreboard, even though teams were competitive.
Yeah, I was just thinking there, it's been quite a while since Canoli have played Belnaleck at senior level. It's probably 3 years ago, so I suppose that first half, Kinawley, I suppose, got to grips with things quicker, and really that's what dictated the final outcome.
And they made hay in that, that first 20 minutes.
You know, when we look back also, really Kinawley were the team who more often found space. They found the forwards in space more often. If you were to look at quite a lot of the Belnaleck scores, a lot of the Belnaleck scores were kicked from distance. You know, if you even look at it, quite a number of Dara McGowan's threes, they were on the 40 or further out. Likewise, Conor McCauley scored a few from distance, and then the closer frees were not, I wouldn't say snapshots, that would be unfair, but the Belnaleck forwards on the ball, quick turn, shoot. Whereas, you know, I wouldn't say it would be a worry coming into championship, but
be an eye opener anyway.
Yeah, you know, but fair play to both teams, because it was a contest.
Oh, definitely, yeah. As I said, even when the scoreboard wasn't that close, both teams were still going at it hammer and tongs, and we did see that in the because Canoli, you know, you look at this here, for Belnaleck to score 9 points or 7 or 8 points in a row with no response from Canoli, that I'm sure will concern the management, because you know, at a time like that there, you need something to break the momentum for the opposing team.
I suppose it's one of these things as well. How often do we see in games where a team stretches out 6, 7, 8 or points in the lead and they take the foot off the gas, whereas if it's a tight game, you're keeping in touch, there's breaking balls, you're getting one back, you're whatever it is, I'm sure there's been psychological studies done on this, but that seemed to be that when Belnaleck got their momentum going, and then Canoli got back into it. I just think of that second half goal from Canoli that came from that mistake in the Belnaleck defence. That was a pivotal moment in the game, because you know that pushed Canoli back out into 6 points, and then they got another point, whereas had they have just got a point from that, you know, 4, you were still in the game, you still had plenty of time. But look, that's the beauty of football and the beauty of sport. We can talk about these things.
Every day is a learning, every day is a school day, Malachy, so it is for these teams. So with that, we'll wrap up our broadcast this evening with a final score of 2-15 to 13 points. Thanks, as I say, thanks very much to our subscribers and our viewers in this game, and don't forget, join us on Sunday for Earn Gales again.